Hello and welcome. I'm Mike Juregi, your guitar teacher, and today we're going to be discussing the fundamentals of guitar, the history of the guitar, and how we can execute reading music on the guitar. So first, let's just talk about the different types of guitars that there are. As you can see on this screen, we have the steel string guitar, which is known for having steel strings and can be found usually people playing around a campfire, versus the next one, which is the nylon string guitar. And you can see the differences between these two. One being that it has nylon strings. If you look at the headstock, it has holes in the headstock as opposed to being a solid piece of wood, just like you can see on the steel string. And the tuning pegs around the headstock are also different. On the steel string, they're on the sides, and on the nylon string, they're usually on the back side of the headstock. The other difference is that the nylon string has a shorter neck, but it also has a thicker neck, so the frets are a lot wider, and because of that, it can have certain advantages, not having as invasive strings as the steel string, which are like cheese cutters on your fingers. The nylon strings are a little softer to play. However, with a thicker neck, it makes certain things about playing guitar, like bar chords, a little bit more difficult because you have to cover so much more space with your hand. With that being said, overall, it's a wonderful instrument to play, and is actually more reminiscent to the original guitar made in Spain, which was actually played with cat guts. They made strings out of cat guts, and thank God for modernization, right? So we don't have to be doing that. It's a little disgusting. But now we have nylon strings to be able to play that sounds similar to it. Just like that, in the original state of nylon strings, or when played on a nylon string guitar, it's usually a classical style guitar. And when we play on a classical style guitar, it's traditionally played with a footstool so that the neck can ride a little bit closer to your face. The reason for this is because of the thicker neck. It allows for more flexibility in your forearm, and so your fingers can move a little bit more easily, and there's less tension and stress on your forearms. You see a lot of punk rock bassists that, will play their stuff way down on, close to their knees. And it's basically, you look at their hands and they're basically doing curls down there. You don't need that. So that being said, the nylon string is most historically closest to the original Spanish guitar. And the electric guitar, which as you can see, I'm playing on for today's lesson, has a thinner neck, and also has steel strings just like the steel string guitar, but the way that this is played is usually play up higher. The frets that you can see in between are closer together, and it's meant to much more for versatility in all the different registers. And just like the nylon string, where we have the neck needing to be closer to the face, with electric, you're wearing a neck strap, and you will find that having it ride a little bit closer to your face will have the same effect. The next page in our packet, talking about tuning, we have the different notes. Starting from the lowest note will be E, the next would be A, then D, then G, then B, then E. Now, when I refer to the strings, we always talk about everything from bottom up. So the first string will be the high E. Opposite, the closest string toward your face is the low E string. And we call that the sixth string, okay? So don't be confused, as the first string is on the bottom. The next page, we talk about the playing position. Again, the easier it is for you to play to get it closer to your face, it's a lot easier to make it happen. When we read certain notes with our left hand, we refer to this as finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, and finger 4. So when we look at different diagrams and when we discuss, this is how we're going to be referring all our patterns on. On the next page, we're going to be discussing the musical symbols and how we actually read the music. Okay, so first you can see on the top left it talks about the staff, not to be confused with the guitar strings. This is not a picture of a sideways guitar. What this means is that on these 5 lines we will be placing symbols that represent certain notes of the musical alphabet. On the right you say that it shows a treble clef. The treble clef refers to it being a high-pitched instrument, like the right hand of a piano. Looking down below, you can see that we have the different note names for the lines and spaces of the staff. Starting from the bottom up, as referenced to, you can see that the first note is E, the second line note is G, third line note is B, fourth line is D, and fifth line, or the top line, is F. And in the spaces, we have F, and then the second space is A, third space C, and top space E. Okay, so as we go through this, I will be asking if this is a line note or a space note, and this is a way for us to indicate to ourselves of how we can recognize what notes are what. Next is we're gonna talk about is the time signature, and a time signature, just like most rock music, is in 4/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's usually how most music is played. And when we place it in music, and we have to add up to 4. How we do this is, if you look at the bottom, we have a whole note that equals 4 beats, which means that when we play a note, it would be sustained for a full 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes get 2 beats, so it would go 1, 2, 3, 4 if there were 2 half notes. And then quarter notes get 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason for this is so that when we're playing as a group together, say we're rocking out for a while, and then we get to like the 12th cycle of 4, and something goes wrong. And this gives us a way to talk about that measure 12. Something went wrong, and we can rehearse it and address the issue. It gives us a way to be able to mark where we are in this space and time while playing notes, and being able to efficiently address the problem. So that being said, that takes us right into our first notes of the string, which will be on the next video. So I'll see you on the next one.